This meeting is
We did
being
it.
live streamed. Okay. I did click
We did it.
okay. I just,
Yeah, it's fine. We did it. We're live. We're having all kinds of fun clicking buttons this morning. So welcome everyone to the Rebel Roundtable. And I am super excited today. It's Friday, first of all. So happy Friday.
happy Friday.
Maybe a couple minutes technical fun this morning, but I'm super excited because, well, first of all, lawyers and used car salesmen, what could be a more fun topic? But I have Mariangelica Alvarado here, and she is the founder and CEO of Luminary Catalyst. And we titled this the Lawyers or Used Car Salesman because a lot of what Mariangelica does is authentic sales and driving growth and using that to help businesses thrive, which is what my goal is too for lawyers. And so thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
Are you kidding? Thank you for inviting me, Jen. I mean, you know how when you and I first met, like it was so impactful. We came back around and I was like, "You're the one. You're the one that I met that gave me that great piece of advice." So this is a huge honor for me. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your company and kind of like your elevator talk, but make it interesting.
Okay, sure. Well, I love it because I feel like I'm a dichotomy. I have the analytics side and I love math and data and all that, yet I have the personality side, which is why I love sales. And I was just having a conversation with someone that, selling starts when we're at birth. When you start
Yep.
trying to get your parents to give you that toy or give you those extra 5 minutes, the negotiation world begins in every form, right?
Yep.
But so I started my career in sales in high school. I just wanted to go work for Gap and then I moved into high-end furniture selling, which was really cool because that's a different world. That's where the high elite net worth kind of comes into play. But then I realized that people connection is what I love the most. And I think that's what makes selling and business development different because it's the end game, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
long-term relationship versus transactional, which is what makes it different.
Yep.
So I was a financial advisor for almost a decade. I that's when I realized I would sell my services, meaning my expertise, who I am and all that, every time I spoke to a prospect. And but what really I wanted to know is my success rate. How do I track it? And that's where my data and analytics kicked in. How many people I need in my funnel? What's my closing ratio? Is it getting better? Is my window for selling getting closer, which means I'm getting more effective with my words? There's so many nuances to this world. Fast forward the clock, I founded Luminary Catalyst to teach the science and the fun and the humanity behind sales and sales approach.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Well, and I love what you said. I always use the example of like my kids trying to sell me on something they want. I'm like, you're selling from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed. It's just how you perceive it and how you use that. And
Yeah.
I always love like the people who go hardcore in sales and are constantly pitching. It's so exhausting to listen to
You can
that.
always tell who's new at the
Yeah.
game and who's not. They give
Yes.
you this word salad and this like vomit of like words and you're like, breathe. Just I just asked you how you were and you went into
Yeah.
your company, your services, your thing. Oh, you need me. Like let's not do that.
It's funny. So I totally going a little off topic here a little bit, but I did a webinar on Monday this week about scripts that got lawyers sanctioned in bankruptcy court. And it was the sales scripts that were exhibits in these cases. I also said they're fascinating. They are,
I would love to
it's
see them.
so hardcore psychology, like the yes game, like the yes ladder, trying to get people to say yes to every question. So they say yes. I'm like, and in the bankruptcy world, our clients are very overwhelmed and they don't know that they're being manipulated. And it's so hard to read. But when you start talking about like the hardcore pitches and people just jump right into things, that's what it reminded me of was these scripts that people think they
Yeah.
should. Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell people what you really need to do is listen. Listen
Yeah.
will let you know whether or not, and read the room and read the person in front of you. It sounds crazy, but yeah, body language, it tells you a lot.
Yeah.
When you're asking a question to someone and sometimes it's true, those micro expressions. And I
Yeah.
know them about me. My face, I've been banned from ever getting Botox because it's so
Yeah.
expressive. And
Yes.
and I've become a meme in my family too, by the way. Like and a sticker on our WhatsApp where it's like, you know, But it tells you if you're what you're saying is hitting right, right? If you want to come across as someone who's informative, does
Right.
that person have a lost look on their face? You're not explaining things right.
Yep. It's so funny because I can't be on video sometimes if I know it's going to be a hard meeting because I don't have a poker face. Like my face is going to give away when I start rolling my eyes at whatever excuse someone comes up with on things. So at least
I
I know
know.
that about myself that I may have a problem. So what's the fastest way that someone kills trust, like in the first 60 seconds? I know you talk about just jumping into services, but what's the way to kill trust?
Breaking that physical barrier, we all have that space that is our comfort space. You come into my space, whether we're talking at a networking event or we're coming across at a, across the table and you do something that is like, if you can't respect my personal space, I can't do business with you. There's that force field around us, you know?
Yep. Yep.
So that's one of the first things I tend to be really, really, aware of because that space can also be, believe it or not, how we are appearing on camera makes a big deal. Like you see this much of my body, I'm not right up in your face. There's even that personal space over Zoom, and people
Mm-hmm.
don't think about it. And so when you're selling or you're doing a proposal, the way you're positioned and the way I'm positioned is really how we should be positioned in camera.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So you say pitching without pitching. What does that actually look like?
You just kind of have to story tell, like the
Yeah.
way you and I found out about each other,
Mhm.
like I just tell people I go in there, I audit people's, CRM. Why? Because we may not be collecting all of the data points necessary, or we've outgrown those data points and we need new ones. So I'm essentially telling you my products of services and what I do with them, but it's a conversation where and then I'll ask you, like, so Jen, tell me, what is it? How did you get out of being an attorney and now you're a consultant for attorneys? And then I pass the baton to you and you don't even know it. And
Right.
then you then tell me what you're doing. And then in my head, I've just laid out the groundwork for me to then be able to feel comfortable enough to ask you questions. I start aligning my services or where we can work together or we can do business together, meaning you become a client. Like, is there an opportunity there?
Yeah.
But I first have to make you feel comfortable by letting you know a little bit about me and what I do for other clients.
Right. I think the stories are really important because honestly, people don't recognize the word salad of what someone does. Even attorneys in the other practice areas, like I always joke when estate planners say, I'm an estate planner, I plan estates. I'm like, I kind of know what that means because I'm a lawyer, but there's no story to that. And so I like to hear the stories of like who someone's actually helping.
Yeah. Like
Mhm.
I'm able to help you navigate the world of probate. And then
Right.
what is probate? This ungodly black hole where we all have to go through to get deeds and stuff transferred through us. And it's this black hole. And that's what I'm saying. Get creative, give people that visual of like, oh yeah, that when do we go
Yeah.
through probate more than once? Hopefully twice with our parents or maybe with our spouses. That's three maybe. Or we know someone who goes through it, but it's different when we're the ones going through it. So you need to tell me what that looks like. It's a black
Yeah.
hole.
Exactly. So I always hate the question, what do you do? When someone, like you go to a networking event and someone's like, what do you do? What are your tips for that kind of thing? Instead of what should I
When
ask
someone asks me
instead?
that question, well,
When
first of
someone
all,
asks
don't
you, what do
be
you
that
do? Yeah.
person.
Yes.
Yeah, don't be that person. Ask what if someone asks me that, I usually say I teach people how to be more effective with their sales strategies. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the whole thing, but that's become a very
Yeah.
short sentence. And
And what
then,
should we ask instead of what do you do? Like say you're at a networking event and you want to get to know someone else. Instead of saying, what do you do? What should we
what's
ask?
your area of expertise?
Okay. Yeah. I often will
Because
say things like, what's your favorite client to work with? Give me an idea of like who your favorite client is,
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that. So, um,
Yeah, I like the
but
area of expertise because I've
yeah,
learned with in the world of legal and accounting, that became like instead of them saying, I'm a CPA or I'm an attorney, I'm like, yeah, I need more than that. But then I realized I was asking it wrong.
yeah,
So
yeah.
That's when I was like, what's your area of expertise? Well, I used to be in bankruptcy, blah, 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 blah. And then
Yeah.
they tell me the whole answer, not, I'm an attorney.
It's so
Just
funny though
like
how
people can say, I'm in sales.
it's so funny though how people think that what they do is self-explanatory by their title, and it's really not, because
No.
there's so many variations of what we do and who we want to work with. And so yeah. Um, are there any like sleazy tactics people don't realize they're doing when it comes to like sales conversations? We talked about the yes ladder, but anything else that you find,
Oh my God.
things that make you cringe, basically? Like when you hear something, what makes you cringe?
When I hear, first of all, when they start doing the word salad,
Yeah.
that's the biggest cringe. I feel like taking them aside and telling them, edit, give me three sentences, three bullet points. Like, don't give me the word salad.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing is when people want your business card immediately and you don't even know if I want to give it to you. I
Right.
don't know anything about you. You're here
But
just
people still have
collecting
business
them and then
cards.
huh?
People still have business cards.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And you know
Okay.
what? Jen, I know that we're all into this digital thing, but I hate the
Yeah.
digital ones. I
Oh,
have to
really?
screenshot it because I have 15,000
Mm,
contacts
yeah.
and
It's
your
hard to keep
picture,
track of all that. Yeah.
huh?
It's hard to keep track of all of that with all the
I need a
contact.
business card. I don't care. I'm old
Yeah.
school. I may not have a
Yeah.
Rolodex anymore, but I'll have a business card because with all this technology, I take pictures of them and then from that picture it goes translated into an Excel sheet and then it goes into my database. So I'm able to like go from the OCR using all the AI technology
Yep.
now. It makes my life easy and then boop, it ends up in my CRM. But
That's
the
awesome.
other ones, I have to screenshot. I have to email. I have to
What if the ones that is like you just scan and it connects to your LinkedIn, that like the QR code that you just take a pic, like it takes you automatically to their profile? I'm just
Oh, and
curious because I've
LinkedIn?
seen all kinds of different, yeah, I've seen all kinds of different versions of like digital. And like the ones that like hi hello, we're getting totally in the weeds here. Hi hello does like you just scan it and it automatically link connects you on LinkedIn and sends an email quick to that person. So yeah,
Yes. But then how do you get that information into your CRM? You better have a
right.
way of like then
Right, right.
extrapolating that,
Yeah,
right? So I know that one way you can do it is attach like one of those apps, those third-party
yeah,
apps that can then go through your email. And if you put
yeah,
the same subject line, across the introducing myself or something that's unique to
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
can then have that email put into an Excel spreadsheet, boom, and then continue the rest. So I think
yeah.
of it a lot as it's in biz dev, it's the follow-up through that I think most people drop the ball in, and
I agree with you. I think the most common question I see in like different networking groups is how do you keep track of all this stuff? Like, how do you keep track of your contacts and who are good partners? And so it's interesting to hear how you do it because you're an expert at it. So talk about your system a little bit. Like how do you keep track of
well,
all this?
I think auditing your CRM is first and foremost, like what
Mm,
data points. And I think that a lot of the times we just think of the basics, name, company, email, phone number, industry maybe. But I love the idea of tracking where I meet people. Like you and I met at the GL Summit, but so you're in my CRM as Provisors, GL, and
yeah,
also out of California because those are the three things that I need. And then of course attorney, which is your industry. And then are you practicing or but you're not practicing. So you're not a typical attorney that you'll be on the consulting side, not necessarily
yeah,
the practicing side. So
yeah.
I need to make those distinctions because if I'm looking for a bankruptcy attorney out of California or whatever, I could miscategorize you
You
because
can
you're
still
not
contact me
practicing.
for that because I can give you a good one. But yes.
Right, exactly. But it won't be you, Jen,
Yeah,
right?
all
So
the,
I need to, so in my CRM, all that is segmented. So if I need to know who's a consultant for attorneys, that's
yeah.
when you'll pop up.
So does your CRM then with my little records say hates breakout rooms? Because wasn't
Yes,
that our
it does.
discussion? So background for those watching, when we first met at the Group Leader Summit, I don't even remember how we got off in this conversation, but
No,
I was saying how much I hate breakout rooms and Zoom and
yes.
networking, and that I will sometimes accidentally leave. And so that's what she remembered about me when we connected later was that I accidentally leave breakout Zoom meetings because we go to breakout rooms. That's
But you
funny.
know what? That's such good feedback because so many people, it becomes a do I want to do, round robin, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, speed networking. And then we're all on Zoom and then that can get dizzying. And I've participated in that. So when I heard you say that, I was like, food for thought. Remember this, developing content and, doing the meetings and it's so good because that was such an impactful tip and I caught it.
And you got it by listening and it made you remember me. So that was the funny part. Like she remembered that when we later
Oh
met up
yeah,
at
it was
her.
impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what sales really is how do you make yourself memorable so that people think of you in situations that you want to be in and not just random garden variety cases that you maybe don't want to be in. So know
Yeah.
your target.
And it's so funny. I want to bring up, I thought about our conversation today, and I want to be a
Yeah.
big champion right now for newsletters.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
know that that is a huge faux pas in the networking space. Like, should you send your newsletter to someone that you just met or something? And just yesterday, I had lunch with another GL down here in South Florida. And he asked me that question specifically. He was like, "What do you think about all these people sending their newsletters?" And I said to him, I like the newsletters. As anyone in networking, you are that person's sales team, right? I only can refer to you good stuff if I know what you're looking for. That's what we're all in here for. We all network, business development, that's the cornerstone of it. So if I don't know how to refer Jen, then how am I going to be a good resource for Jen? And if
Yep.
Jen has a newsletter that gives me insight on Jen, and said newsletter gives me cases or it gives me her ideal client or disaster things or gives me information that is, really good for Jen to get to be referred to, then why wouldn't I have that information? And I
Yep.
said, the only way I can do that is if I have a newsletter. And he goes, but I feel like I should opt in. I said, but you can always opt out. What's the problem?
Yeah, I struggle with that too because I hate it when people add me to their newsletter. Like if people add me, I often will put them in my blacklist. Like I won't send them referrals because they added me to their newsletter without my permission. Because we get so many emails. Like when I
But
get
so
to
do
our
I. But so do
yeah, I
I.
know. And so I think it depends too. And again, I'm the contrarian all the time. I'm the
I
one
love
who's
that you're a country. This
always
is why I'm
different,
like,
right?
this is going to be a good topic for us to debate, you
Right.
know?
But I do it. Newsletters are fantastic. And I do appreciate when I'm on a newsletter that gives me good information. It's usually like someone puts me on a newsletter without asking if I want to be on it. They just assume I want to be on it. And so that's the hard part that, especially
I'm
in
okay
networking.
with opting out though. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Just send it to me, like add
Yeah.
me in. I almost assume that someone's
Yeah.
going to add me
That's interesting.
if we have a one-to-one. It's almost
Yeah.
like an assumption on my part that I'm going to get it no matter what.
Oh, that's interesting.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I also give it 3 months. And this is what I told the GL. I'm like, if after the third month the newsletter is not giving me anything really great,
Mm.
then
Yeah.
I will unsubscribe,
Okay.
you know? And I'm good with that too. But I think that a lot of us that are in biz dev and any business owner out there, any professional service person out there, I think any attorney, CPA, whatever you do, I think that we should give each other some grace in our network that they do send us the newsletters so then we're able to educate ourselves better on their services.
Yeah.
And if you're sending out a crappy newsletter, shame on you.
Don't
It's
know that.
true.
Again, newsletters are like there's some that I do look forward to seeing. And so I think I have a newsletter too for Lawyer Success Network, just because there's so many events and so many things going on that I like to draw people's attention to. So
I
I don't think
know.
newsletters are a bad thing. I think they're a good thing. So
Yeah,
um,
but please give me one with what with merit,
yes,
like
yes,
that's where I
exactly.
think people fall. Yeah.
So lawyers often, when I talk about sales, are talking about like feeling like a used car salesman. What are they doing wrong if they feel like a used car salesman or saleswoman? Excuse me, salesperson.
Sales cars person or whatever, it
Yes,
doesn't matter.
yes, yeah.
Um,
What are they
I
doing wrong?
I think you lack confidence in your own value that you bring to that prospect.
Yep.
That's it. Like, if you don't believe in the product, or you don't believe in the service, you don't believe in yourself, you have that fake feeling of like, I'm gonna dupe them to bring them on board. That's usually what you say about a car salesman. Like, he's not telling me all the stuff that's bad with
Right.
this vehicle. And
Right.
that's what we say
Exactly.
used car salesman, because the new cars come with warranty and stuff. So this guy's not giving me all the information on it, blah, blah, blah. So when you feel like a used car salesman, you don't feel like you're really bringing value, or you're upselling your own skills, and your fear of failure and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like
That is
that's a
the
them problem.
that is the best way I have ever heard that described. When you feel like a used car salesman, you're not being authentic. You're not being like, you don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe in the product. I like that. I have never heard someone say that exact way. So, but I see that a lot, like the whole people being super formal with their pitches and their pitch decks and all of these things. I'm like, people want to do business with people they trust, and they can't trust you if they think you're constantly pitching at them. So it's the
Or they feel
psychology of
like
it.
you're always
Yeah.
doing a track, or you're always doing this is the problem. It's not a conversation. It's just bullet points that you give them, which means you've been coached too much that you don't know
Mhm.
how to go off script and really
Yeah.
show what you know up here. That's the
So
other thing.
I know we're like at 25 minutes, but let's talk from the client's perspective.
Yeah.
What does good selling actually feel like to a client?
You're not being sold, you're being educated.
Okay.
We're on the same side of the fence. We're on the same side of the table. Like, not the fence, but like we're all sitting, like we're not opposing each other. We're both working together and looking at one another. And I feel that is when a person feels like you're an advisor, you're not transactional. You can develop a long-term past this issue that we're going to resolve together. I'm going to still want to come back and talk to you as an advisor. And I
Yeah.
think that that's as a salesperson being sold to, I look at that like, is this person very short-sighted, or are we on a long vision kind of thing?
Yeah. I would say as a bankruptcy attorney, when I was selling in my, talking about the options of bankruptcy, on the client side of things, I could see them like physically relax and like let down their shoulders, and they would start like understanding that they have options. And that was always my favorite thing to see in a meeting. First of all, because I knew they were sold at that point, but also the feeling the client has is not that they're being sold, but that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, there's a way out, there's all those things. And so it's interesting to look back.
But they have to trust you, Jen, and that
Yes. Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
their advisor. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, they know that they can put that trust in you, and that goes to like, trust is huge in everything we do, you
Yeah.
know? Let
Very
me ask
cool.
you something.
Yeah.
How did you see those relationships from a bankruptcy standpoint? Because it's not like you're in an industry where you want repeat work from the same
I
person.
always joked about that. That was like one of my jokes was I don't want repeat clients.
Hey, you're always on the grind.
But I got tons of referrals. Like my clients became like my sales network. And I always
Yeah.
talk about cultivating my network of salespeople. And it was that trust. And they still come back years later and they ask for referrals to other places. So I still am a trusted advisor. And that's how I
Yeah.
still end up getting a lot of referrals for bankruptcy clients that I then help them find the right people in the right places. But yeah, it's a hard thing to go through. And if you do it well and they trust you, then that's not necessarily referrals for me from them again, but from their friends and family and networking partners. So yeah.
I think that that's an amazing service, because most people, it's very humbling when you realize you have to
Mhm.
restructure your
Yep.
financial side because of whatever happened, right? Whether
Yep.
it's you're restructuring your business through bankruptcy or your personal bankruptcy.
Yep.
It's such a touchy thing. Um, but like I said, you're always on the grind because you're always trying to find new clients, not repeat clients.
Yeah, I would say though that once that pipeline is built, like I quit practicing in like late 2022, and I've got 3 referrals for bankruptcy cases that now go to my former partner.
Yeah.
Um, and so that the pipeline is still there, even though I haven't actually been working it for 4 years. And so it's interesting how long it took to build, but then once it's going, like it just keeps going. So it's
But
really
that's what
cool.
I
Yeah,
love that, because people
yeah,
don't talk about the successes of a pipeline, Jen.
yep, yep,
Everybody doesn't talk, like that's what I love that you just said. It took so long to build, but look at it after it's been 4 years and it's still, you're in it. And
Yeah.
that's what I tell people when you build something good, like your reputation, your knowledge base, a good presentation for clients, a good product for clients, meaning you got them through everything. Those
Mhm.
are the elements of biz dev that most people, it's like, what are the of these things? What do I need to do? Do I have to send out good templates? No. Do you have to have a good website? No. Do you need to, you just need to connect with people and kind of
Yeah.
show yourself. But then you have to then once you get comfortable at this level, how do you then, propagate that to more? Where do
Yeah.
you go with that? That's when you start with the website. You start developing a newsletter or things like that. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, definitely. And just being authentic and talking like regular everyday language to people and not trying to out legal somebody who doesn't understand legal
You don't,
terms. So
yeah,
yes,
and
yeah,
just
just be
use
real.
plain English.
Yes,
Plain English
exactly.
and no acronyms. I hate that. Like,
Yes,
oh, the
yes.
alphabet soup.
Alphabet soup
Alphabet.
and word salad. Okay, so if we were to wrap this up, where can
Yeah.
people find you? Because they need you. Where can lawyers find you?
Okay, two places. LinkedIn, you could
Yep.
just go to Mariangelica Alvarado. I am the only Mariangelica Alvarado probably on LinkedIn. Also my website, luminarycatalyst.com.
Okay.
We're putting together a really cool workshop right now. It's a 4-week program for face recognition analytics. We are
Interesting.
doing that. Yeah, because in the sales world, as we all know,
Yes.
body language is so important. And a lot of things, if you're not catching it, is where the close will go away from you. Your
Yep.
negotiation will go haywire. So at luminarycatalyst.com, you can find out more information about our workshop that starts May 20th.
Very cool. I will put that in the show notes and we'll put it out there. So finally, on the Rebel Roundtable, we have a Spotify playlist of all of our Rebel anthems from all the guests who have been on the Rebel Roundtable. So what's your go-to song when you either want to get pumped up or you're feeling rebellious?
Oh my God. Okay. I'm Just a Girl
Okay,
from,
no doubt.
yes, with Gwen Stefani.
Yep.
That was like my rebel anthem. I was like driving my car in 1996, loving that song.
That is
I'm just
fabulous.
a girl. That's one of my
I will get that.
faves.
Yeah, I will get that added to the playlist so everyone can have all the Rebel anthems in one place and send that
I
out as
love
well.
it.
So thank you so much for being here. I have a feeling there'll be like a part two coming up in the future sometime with things
Oh
we
my
could dig
God.
into with CRMs and fun
I
stuff.
would
But
love that, Jen. I would be so honored. And I hope that the attorneys that watch this and anybody else that listens to this got some really good tips. Because I think at the end of the day, we're all trying to impact our revenue and grow our companies and have that piece of the American pie.
yeah, definitely. So thank you everyone for Friday morning on the Rebel Roundtable and check back every week at 9 a.m. Pacific for a Rebel Roundtable episode. Thanks everyone.